Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Texas Rangers franchise here on the MSM Sports Network and MLB The Show 21. Well, today we finish up the regular season as the Texas Rangers look to claim their first American League West crown since 2015. The Rangers have a 6-game lead over the Houston Astros heading down the stretch. We've got just 2 games left against our division rivals before taking on the Angels and the Yankees to conclude the regular season. Now, as you take a look at the divisional breakdown, obviously 6 games separate us and the Astros, and we're the only 2 teams in contention. The Angels, Athletics, and Mariners have all been eliminated, and as I was looking at this earlier, I want to call your attention to the scheduling breakdown to the right side of the screen. Look at the division record. The Rangers have a 38-30 record. Meanwhile, the Mariners are the only other team in the division that have a winning record. The Rangers are 38-30, the Mariners are 39-34. Despite being 70-81, the Mariners have actually played the best baseball in division out of the 5 teams, and that really surprised me. Although you think back to our games against them, and the Mariners actually competed against us quite well. The other thing that I'm concerned about when I look at this breakdown is the home schedule for the Rangers. We're only 1 game above 500 within the friendly confines of the ballpark. We're basically unbeatable on the road, 51-25, but not being able to defend that home field advantage really concerns me, and it's something that we haven't done in the first 2 seasons of this franchise. Meanwhile, our season statistics, 262 as a team, good slugging percentage at 444, a 989 fielding percentage, which I'm not crazy about, and a 359 team ERA, which has obviously gone up over the last month or so. We have not pitched all that well in the month of August and September, and that's something that does concern me a little bit as we head towards the playoffs. You juxtapose that to what's going on in the National League, and the Dodgers are without a doubt the best team in the big leagues. 111-40, they've scored 844 runs and haven't even allowed 500 on the season. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and you look at their divisional record, they lost just 19 games in division. That is absolutely outstanding. 54-22 at home, 57-18 on the road, and batting .270 as a team, slugging .500 in a team ERA of .296. Well, obviously, the Dodgers have clinched not only their division, but the best record in the National League. The San Diego Padres have taken one of those wild card slots, and show you around the rest of the playoff picture. The Brewers, Cubs, and Reds are all battling for the National League Central. The Mets have claimed the National League West, and the Braves are desperately trying to make it into the wild card. You look at the American League wild card picture, and it's the Yankees that are out in front by a comfy margin. The Astros and Twins battling for that second wild card spot, with the Angels a very distant 3rd place there. Obviously, we lead the West. In the Central, it's the White Sox and Twins battling that out. The Twins are 3.5 games back, and the Red Sox lead the Yankees by 4 games in the American League East. As we get close to wrapping up this season, I wanted to show you who the pitchers were that will be heading into the postseason with us. Here's a look at our rotation, and it's going to stay exactly like that going into October baseball. Specifically, I wanted to show you Hans Kraus and Hyung-Jung Yang, who are our long relievers. There was actually a period during the last episode during the Seattle series where I sent Yang down. He was pitching so terribly that I just couldn't rely on him, and so he did spend a couple of days down at AAA Round Rock, but he's been called up. I rather have him out of the bullpen where he's done his best work this season, and then the rest of our bullpen remains unchanged. But as I mentioned, Texas has not pitched well this season, at least in the second half, in August and September. That's something that's got to change if we want to make a deep postseason run. Well, finally, let's get to some baseball. And the plan here is to simulate until we get to when we can clinch the American League West. I'll probably do a lot of quick managing, and we're going to get up to the point where we have something to report. These last 2 games against the Astros will be absolutely crucial. So without any further ado, let's get into some simulating and see where it takes us. The first game that we simulated was a 5-2 victory over the Houston Astros. 5 runs on 10 hits. Crucial RBIs coming from Willie Calhoun and Tyler Naquin. 3 home runs, including Yanni Hernandez, and the win going to Rodriguez. We would drop the final game of the series as Mackenzie Gore suffers his 11th loss of the season, but we move into the series against the Angels and split the first 2. As we check on the standings, the Rangers 4 games up. The Red Sox have already clinched the East and are in the driver's seat to take the first overall seed in the American League. As you see, the Mets have also won and clinched the best record in the NL East. Give you a look at the Astros' remaining schedule. They've got 1 against the A's, and then they finish up against Seattle and Oakland, and we simulate forward and we lose the final game of the Angels series. Now, this is also right before the AAA playoffs start, and the Express dropped the first game to the Sacramento River Cats, the AAA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants, 8-7. Despite out-hitting the River Cats by 4, they still can't get it done. Well, the Rangers head into a very important series against the New York Yankees, and Game 1 did not go their way necessarily. The Rangers didn't score until the 9th inning, but all of a sudden they have a puncher's chance as it's 5-3, and we would enter into this game. Runner on first, tying run at the plate for Jason Martin, who was 0 for 3 today, facing Aroldis Chapman, and Chapman blows Martin away 100 miles an hour north of the strike zone for the second out. We would turn to Sam Huff off the bench, hitting .247 this season, 8 home runs and 21 RBIs, and certainly jonesing for that opportunity to be the starter next season behind the plate, and he goes right back up the middle here. Yanni Hernandez hits the bag at second, charging towards third base, and the throw's up the line. The Rangers have the tying run on base now, the go-ahead run, and the walk-off run will come to the plate as Sam Huff delivers with a single into center field. David Dahl was the next hitter. He works a full count. 3-2 here from Chapman, and a slider stays off the plate. The winning run now at first base as Chapman has loaded the bases, and Texas sent Nick Solak to the plate trying to walk it off for Texas. 0 for 4 today, but Solak having a great season for Texas, and the first pitch misses high at 102 miles an hour. Second pitch fouled away. Solak just behind a 101 mile an hour fastball. He would spit on the slider, and on the 2-1 pitch, fastball right down the middle, hit hard down the right field line, but it's caught by Judge in the corner, and that's your ball game. The Yankees hold on and take Game 1 as Deivi Garcia defeats Yuri Rodriguez. Well, in Game 2, the Express lost again to the River Cats, so things not going well for the Texas organization. We'll get back to AAA in just a moment, but let's dive into the second game as the Rangers do have a chance to win the American League West if they can secure a win tonight against the Yankees. The Astros would need a loss, but Mackenzie Gore on the mound in search of his 10th win of the season, and the Rangers need something to go their way. They've lost the last couple of series, and one of the hottest teams in the American League trying to get that wild card spot is the New York Yankees. Well, Mackenzie Gore had a great first inning and a little 3-up, 3-down to start his ballgame. They would be opposed by Garrett Cole, one of the best pitchers in the American League, 17-7 on the season and an ERA south of 3. Nick Solak, with 1 out in the inning, blasts this one deep to center field, and that's over the head of the center fielder and all the way to the wall. Solak slides into third base with a triple, his 7th of the season, and the Rangers had a run just 90 feet away. Well, Tyler Naquin would come to the plate. 18 bombs, 62 RBIs this season. The 62 RBIs, a career high. And on a 2-1 pitch, he'll rip this down to first base. It's off the heel of Luke Voigt, but he is able to recover and make the play. Still, Texas puts the first run on the board, and the Rangers lead it 1-0. Let's skip ahead to the third inning now. Gore back on the mound, facing Clint Frazier, leading off a 2-0 count and a weak fly ball out to center field as Gore had the pinstripes number early, inducing a lot of weak contact like you see right here. Flared down the right field line, an easy catch for Tyler Naquin, and there's 2 outs quickly in the inning. Gio Urshela, the final batter in the inning, and he pops this one up. Shallow center field, Jason Martin able to make the catch, and Mackenzie Gore had sent 9 down in a row to start the game. To the top of the 4th we go. Aaron Hicks trying to go down the third base line, and a platinum glove play from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa as the umpire initially rules him safe. I'll tell you right now, this isn't even close. You get a look at the star-studded defending from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and I can't believe that the umpire even thought about ruling that safe. Jay Valdez would challenge it, and it would quickly be overturned. Following the top play that would be featured on SportsCenter Top 10 that night, DJ LeMahieu collects the first hit of the night for the New York Yankees, and the brief no-hit bid from Mackenzie Gore is over. Luke Voit, though, was the next batter in a 3-2 count. Grounds this one weakly to shortstop. Story to Solak, and a great transition over to first as the Rangers turn two to get out of the inning. And a great job by Solak to keep that left foot on the base just long enough to turn the Twin killing. Speaking of Nick Solak, he'll line the 0-2 fastball that he gets here in the bottom of the fourth into right field. Nick's bat has been really hot as of late, and currently third on the team in hits. He just collected his 152nd of the season. That's a career high. Tyler Naquin, the next batter, laced just inside the left field line. That's a fair ball. Solak wants third base, and the head first dive has him in there ahead of the throw. The Rangers have runners on second and third with nobody out against Garrett Cole as they look for insurance runs. Great job by Solak being aggressive and using that speed to get just 90 feet away. Willie Calhoun, the next batter, on an 0-2 pitch, driving this one deep out to right field. Judge, though, makes the catch on the track as he bumps into the wall. Solak scores easily, and Naquin trots over to third base. The Rangers up 2-0, and Trevor Story to the plate. 1-2 count as Cole considers and fires, and it's inside the left field line. A base hit for Trevor Story, and another RBI for the Irving native. Texas out to a 3-0 lead as Garrett Cole will get an early mound visit here in the fourth inning. Nate Lowe now trying to drive in another run. He scalds this one deep towards right center field. Aaron Hicks dives and he makes the catch. Selling out to make the play. And Aaron Hicks takes away what surely would have been an RBI double from Nate Lowe. 100% route efficiency. And Aaron Hicks getting the support from his starting pitcher and Garrett Cole. He loves to see that despite his night not going the way that he would want. A play like that is always going to be appreciated by your pitcher. Next inning, though, Giancarlo Stanton, he's caught looking for the first out in the inning. A couple batters later now, Gio Urshela, weak fly ball off the end of the bat into left field. And the Rangers have the offense going, and Mackenzie Gore is cooking on the mound. Into the top of the sixth now, weak ground ball down to third base. Easy play for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and it was 6 shutout innings for number 45. Bottom of the sixth now, Willie Calhoun in search of some insurance. 3-2 pitch, driven all the way to the wall down the left field line as Willie beats the shift, and Texas has another insurance run in scoring position. Calhoun, with his 30th double of the season, moves into a tie for second. Well behind Nick Solak, though, who has 39 on the season. And that would spell the end for Garrett Cole's night, not the performance that the hard-throwing right-hander wanted tonight. Well, the Rangers would move Calhoun over to third base on a wild pitch, but a hard-hit ground ball from Nate Lowe finds the glove of Luke Voit. We go to the seventh. Again, Mackenzie Gore dialing up a nice slider on the outside corner. Hicks frozen for just the second strikeout of the night. Luke Voit back up. Weak fly ball into right center field. 7 shutout innings from the former number 1 prospect in the Rangers organization. And we go to the bottom of the seventh. It's David Dahl up. Runners on first and second. And he sends this one into right field. That's a base hit. It will load the bases as the Rangers hold Trevino at third. And Texas in business here in the bottom of the seventh. Nick Solak against Clark Schmidt. Hard ground ball to third base, but Urshela starts the Twin killing, and the Yankees escape. The deficit's still manageable, just 3 as we head into the top of the 8th, and a weak ground ball up the middle, fielded by Trevor Story, throwing to his left, across his body, and he got him. What a play from the Rangers shortstop as the gloves are out in full force tonight on both sides, making tremendous plays. The Rangers get out of the inning, though. 8 shutout from Mackenzie Gore. and he would come back out for the ninth. With the pitch count climbing towards 100, he gets Clint Frazier to strike out for his 4th K of the night. His 100th pitch of the night to Taylor Davis, grounded weakly to second base. And the left-hander just 1 out away from a complete game shutout. It's Gio Urshela to the plate. The 1-0 pitch, line towards second base and under the glove of Nick Solak. Nick expected that to hop. It stayed down. It would be an E4 on Nick that allowed the next batter, Aaron Hicks, to come to the plate, and this one's hit hard back up the middle. It would be 8 2/3 scoreless innings for Mackenzie Gore, as he's going to get a standing ovation from his manager and from the home faithful. Gore, a fantastic outing that may well have clinched the American League West for the Texas Rangers. As he heads off, Jonathan Hernandez is on for the save, and it would only take 1 pitch from the hard-throwing righty. A slider down and away. Solak fields, flips to second, just in time to get Hicks. Texas wins tonight, and they take Game 2 of the series over the Yankees 3-0. Your player of the game, of course, has to be Mackenzie Gore. 4 strikeouts and just 1 walk. He only gave up 2 hits. So we simulate forward to the next day, and I wanted to see, did the Rangers end up clinching the division? And guess what? Yes, they did. In year 2 of the series, the Texas Rangers have won the American League West. The Houston Astros dropped their Game 3 to Seattle. They lost that series, and as a result, the Texas Rangers have claimed their first division crown since 2016. It's been 6 long years in the Ranger organization, but we finally have brought home a pennant to Arlington, and the first in the new ballpark as well, I might add. Well, now we turn our attention to AAA, and the Express are down 2-1 in the series. They did get a win last night with Adolis Garcia walking it off. Blaine Enlow was on the mound today, making his first ever AAA start, and he pitched really solidly, just giving up 1 run through the first 3 innings and giving his team a chance. We simulate forward to the top of the 9th, and it's still 1-0. In the bottom of the 9th now, Ben Espinoza leads off against former Major Leaguer Paul Blackburn, and a hard ground ball hit to shortstop. It's a base hit to lead off the inning. Steele Walker up next. 3-0 pitch, that one misses low, and suddenly the Express have runners at first and second. Adolis Garcia, the next batter, against Matt Wiesler, another former Major Leaguer, and he's going to lay down the sacrifice bunt. Normally, you don't have a power hitter like Garcia bunting in that situation, but needing just 1 run, the Express ask him to lay it down, and it's going to pay off. Yanio Perez, ground ball over to third, but the Express tie it up. We go to extras in Game 3, and it's Colby Allard on the mound, and a quick strikeout here to begin the 10th inning with Randy Florentino behind the plate. He's got 1, let's make it 2 as Darnell Sweeney goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts, and we go to the bottom of the 10th. The Express looking for a walk-off win against Yarlin Garcia, and Santiago Sanchez works a opening walk here in the inning. Followed quickly by Chris Seiss, who grounds into right field, and the winning run is in scoring position on second base as the Express shortstop fired up about that. Ben Espinoza, next batter. Hard hit into left field, that's a base hit. They're going to hold Sanchez at third with just 1 out. The winning run 90 feet away, and it's up to Steele Walker. But the River Cats don't have their infield in. Walker squares to bunt down the first baseline. It's a good one, and they don't even try to go home. The Express walk it off. A bit of carelessness there from the River Cats as they seem to just completely ignore the prospect of a sacrifice squeeze, and the Express win a huge Game 4. So now the series is tied, and we simulate ahead to Game 5. The Express are already up 1-0 thanks to an RBI single from Ronald Guzman, and they're going to add 2 more. Adolis Garcia, who played the hero in Game 3, drives in 2 more runs, and Round Rock takes a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Yanio Perez, the next batter. He'll fly out to right field. Runner on third will tag, and the throw is well up the first base line. Round Rock up 4-0 against Aaron Sanchez, another former Major League pitcher in this organization. Hank Lyons made his first AAA start tonight, and he pitched really solidly. 2 strikeouts here through the first inning and a third. How about another one? 3 strikeouts as he racks up Todd Frazier, another MLB vet. And we would go back to simulating as the offense continued to pour in for the Express. They get 2, make it 3, and make it 4 as Adolis Garcia racks up another RBI. Well, it was 8-0. The Express would tack on 5 more runs throughout the rest of the game. So we simulated to the 9th. Hank Lyons putting in a Herculean effort trying to get a complete game shutout. And he will give up the run here, but a horrendous decision by Todd Frazier. He's run into second base and he's gunned out by Randy Florentino. The Express embarrassed the River Cats 13-1. And we now lead the series just like that, 3-2. One final game 6, hopefully, is all it takes to decide this one on the road in Sacramento. And we go back to the Rangers. With the last 2 games of the series on the docket, we lose the penultimate game, but win the series finale and the season finale 8-7, and realize that we will be taking on the Chicago White Sox in the first round. The other playoff teams from the American League, the Astros and Yankees, are wild cards. Boston takes the top seed, and across the way in the NL, it's the Dodgers with the top seed, Chicago and San Diego, the wild card teams, and the Brewers and Mets will round out the NLDS. Some fun competitive teams as we march through the season statistical leaders, and we'll have the postseason awards, or the regular season awards, I should say, in just a second. But you get a look at some tremendous years. Yordan Alvarez was on fire. Wes Benjamin was recognized for the best winning percentage as well as fewest losses as a starting pitcher. And overall, we didn't have a ton of guys that got recognition, but obviously we had very, very solid seasons from a number of guys on our team. We rifle through the regular season award winners. You see Garrett Cole wins the Cy Young Award. Rafael Devers wins the batting title. You had a guy like Spencer Torkelson who won Rookie of the Year, and many other guys. I'll let you pause and rifle through those if you would like. Here are the National League award winners that will speed simulate through. A lot of Braves had really good seasons, as well as the Dodgers, of course. Basically, everyone on their team did something tremendous. Well, here are regular season stats for our position players. We'll look at the pitching in just a moment. As you see, just from a cursory glance, our offense was one of the best in the big leagues this year. We were top 5 in home runs and in runs scored in Major League Baseball, and we really were anchored from the top. There were so many guys that contributed this season. Trevor Story obviously had a great year coming over to the Rangers. And there's a number of guys that I want to dive into in this part of the episode, dig into their stats a little bit more, and let's start with Willie Calhoun. He tied his career high for home runs in a season at 35, also had a career high in RBIs, and was just one off of a career high in walks. Calhoun continues to get on base at a fantastic clip. He's been truly a guy that you can rely on to get on base and produce out of that designated hitter spot. He's going to make a couple of errors, there's no doubt, but when he is producing, I love to see what he's doing. His ISO is well above average. Basically, the average MLB ISO is around 150. His is at 228, and he's homering at once every 17.7 at bats. The next guy, without a doubt, Trevor Story. His first season as a Texas Ranger, and it was a career year of sorts as well. 41 bombs in his hometown, 96 RBIs. He did strike out quite a bit, 111 times, but not nearly as bad as some of the earlier times in his career. And it's not like he played significantly fewer games. He played 148 games out of 162. I love to see that. I wish he would steal a little bit more, but a 263 average. He played a really solid defense as well. 9.87, it's good enough, and a 6.5 WAR. That is something that really is just tremendous to see. Nearly 300 ISOs. Trevor Story was a guy that you could rely on time and time again. Of course, Tyler Naquin earns a second contract with the Rangers. He has, without a doubt, the best season of his career. 19 bombs, 67 RBIs. He hits .316, and that was even with several injuries that he suffered over the course of the season. He's got a tremendous arm out there in right field, a 5.5 WAR for a guy that I didn't even know if he would be a starter when we signed him. And then, of course, you got to look at David Dahl. Dahl also had a fantastic season. 327 the average, 20 home runs, 78 RBIs. The guy was on base at nearly a 400 clip. Just a really, really solid player. In over 1,000 innings, he produced a 4.4 WAR in his age 28 season. Overall, I'm super happy with the way that our position players performed this season. We've got to get our defense up a little bit, but other than that, I'm really pretty excited about the way that we hit the ball this year. Wes Benjamin led the team in pitching, 17-4 and a 2.85 ERA. None of our guys were really strikeout artists this season, not even Tyler Glasnow. Nobody had, at least in our starters, had a 1 strikeout to inning ratio, which I was a little bit surprised about. Obviously, we lost Carlos Martinez earlier in the season. He was pitching really well. Glasnow, a very, very good first full season with Texas, 11-8. He lost a couple of games down the stretch, but still, you look at the ERA, the WHIP, both of those are very, very solid. Mackenzie Gore really rallied in his rookie season. The ERA a little bit high, so is the WHIP, but the way that he battled, and obviously to win the way that he did against the Yankees to get the Rangers that AL West crown, I was really impressed with. Dane Dunning's going to move to the bullpen next year. I don't know if Hyunjung Yang is going to be on the roster next season as we get into some of the bullpen guys. Taylor Hearn had a very good season. Archie Bradley certainly rallied down the second half. And I just think you got contributions from a lot of guys. Jonathan Hernandez was very, very good. I think he definitely is the future closer of this team. 29 saves this season. He had 6 holds when he wasn't the runaway closer. He gave up just 8 earned runs all season long. That is something that you need out of your guy who's coming in the 9th inning to get wins. Well, it was a jam-packed episode, and next time we will start with AAA. We'll finish their season against the River Cats, see what happens after that, and we'll get into the postseason, the ALDS, as we take on the Chicago White Sox in the first round. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, a comment, and head over to my Twitter if you don't mind. Give me a follow at MSMSports_. I would really appreciate if you guys could boost the likes over there. I've loved all the support, and this journey is not stopping anytime soon. Until next time, so long, everybody.